Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope it's having a fantastic day today. So I want to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. There could be a defensive end, or there is a defensive end that is on the trade block right now. Multiple suitors, and do the Eagles actually have interest, and does it make sense? And obviously an update on the DeAndre Hopkins situation, and kind of, you know, to put my true sense into that going forward, and where I kind of look like where it's going right now. So definitely a couple things to talk about. So let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope it's having a fantastic day. Hope everybody is enjoying their work week. Obviously, we are waiting for Eagles training camp to kind of get things underway with the season, and, you know, we're getting prepared. But obviously, with Eagles have 4 open roster spots, and, you know, to see, like, you know, where they think they're going to add another player through free agency or via trade. You know, either they make a move before training camp, or, you know, they kind of see what they have, like a wait and see approach once training camp kind of starts, and then kind of make sense of the whole thing of what they, you know, they think they don't have enough at a certain position. Could be safety, could be linebacker, could be, you know, could be offensive line. I mean, you never know what they could add to the team. You know what I mean? So first set of news that actually came up the other day was Danielle Hunter. Now it looks like, you know, 28 years old, you know, still relatively young, and I mean, he's had since drafted in 2015. I don't even know at this point. Literally has had four double digit sack seasons with the Vikings, and has tried to get a deal in place to get somewhat of an extension as of right now. And it looks like the Vikings, you know, Ian Rappaport did put out some news. Vikings receiving trade calls centered around pass rusher Danielle Hunter, and the interest is real. Source say, look inside the complex situation. So it really just comes down to a new contract for Danielle Hunter, and you know, like I said, this is just an option. There are a lot of, I mean, from Ian Rappaport's video on NFL Network, he said that there was a lot of teams that called. A lot of teams called. Could the Eagles be one of those teams? Probably. And look, if the Eagles do call, I mean, they're going to take their shot, you know, maybe a draft pick for next year or something, and just get it done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, you know, could the Eagles have the best offer for them? Probably not. There might be other teams that, you know, may be desperate to get him. You know, I don't know how much the Vikings, you know, sometimes when the Vikings are trading a player that's been with them since they've been drafted, you know, or a player that's been with an organization for so long, maybe they have respect in Danielle Hunter, where they're like, hey, like, these are the teams that are calling. What team would you like to go to? You know, kind of like how we trade for Big Play Slay, and, you know, the Lions really wanted to put him in a really good situation. They didn't just want to ship him off to the first trade that was available, and they respected Slade too much, you know, so much that they, you know, wanted his respect to say, hey, you know, where would you like to go from these teams that are calling, blah blah blah. So this could be the same situation where, you know, Danielle Hunter could be, you know, kind of choosing, you know, to see if they can get you know, a certain team, you know, a trade with a certain team done at a certain point. But like I said, you know, you have to deal with the team right now and deal with giving away draft capital and what he's going to want you know, obviously this could be the last big contract that he's really getting on a multiple year deal at 28 years old. So it could be maybe a 3-year deal, something like that down the line for him. But yeah, it would fit in very well with the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like the Eagles need to add another defensive end. I feel like if the trade rumors about Barnett are true, or if they're not, regardless if he here or if he isn't, I feel like they still have to make somewhat of a move at that position regardless, and just get something done. You know what I mean? The more pass rushers, the better. I don't see why not add another pass rusher. You know what I mean? That is the core of our team. The trenches is where it's important, especially Howie Roseman really values this position so much, and we've done a lot to that position with Davius Street, you know, signed with the Eagles, Fletcher Cox coming back, you know, drafting Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, you know, Jordan Davis is going to his second year. So there's a lot of good things to take from this defensive line and what they can accomplish this this year. I think this defensive line is relatively better than last year and more deep, to be honest. I just think they need to add that one more piece. Now, it just depends if they want a long-term piece for a few years or they just want a one-year type deal with a guy and maybe want to extend him after, maybe another year after this year, and, they don't want to put too much money into a player, God forbid, of injury or anything like that. But Danielle Hunter is a great player, is fantastic. I think he was asking for more money last year, or was looking for a new deal last year. If you guys remember last offseason, I think he kind of wanted something to get done, never got done, so he played out the whole year and now is looking for a longer contract right now, or a new contract from what I'm hearing. I mean, maybe, we'll see what the money looks like, but there'd be no doubt that Howie Roseman called the Vikings as one of the many teams that probably called, but he's not going to give up big draft capital for him. Probably not. Obviously, like I said, he's relatively young at 28. He's in his prime right now and ready to, get on a team and get to a Super Bowl. And I think he'd be a big help to the Philadelphia Eagles. But like I said, I think with Yannick Ngakoue still out there, that Yannick Ngakoue doesn't want a new contract. He doesn't even want the money. He just wants to find a home for a couple of years. And I think with Yannick coming to the Eagles, it would make more sense because even a few years ago when he left the Jags and he was franchise tagged, he wanted to come to Philadelphia so bad. The tweets and how he was really just teasing us at the point of, putting, Reggie White's picture and Trent Cole and Philly cheesesteaks. He was putting all these tweets up that he wanted to play in Philadelphia with this defensive line so bad. Even now, compared to when he was interested at that time, this defensive line is so much better than originally what it was at that time. I forgot what year that was. It was a few years ago when that happened. And I think Yannick would make more sense unless they can get away with the Danielle Hunter trade and want to keep him for a few years, whatever the case may be with that. So there is opportunity here to get something done if that's what the Eagles want to do. They add Danielle Hunter, they add Yannick. I think they're going to be great. Leonard Floyd did sign with the Bills, which made a lot of sense. Wasn't surprising at all, with Von Miller again. So this is really interesting to see what happens between now, training camp, or during training camp. The Eagles might wait on it. The longer the Eagles sit and wait, and these players are still available via trade or in free agency, the Eagles will get a cheaper deal, at that time. So, you're already into June now, and, there's more time. The longer that these players are available, like I said, we'll have the pick of the litter, and Howie Roseman might sign one of these guys. I feel like something is going to happen. It may be tomorrow, maybe next week, and maybe this week. I don't know, but adding another pass rusher, I think, is, especially if the plan is to keep Barnett in the building, then your third rotation at defensive end will be kind of complete because you're going to have Reddick, Graham, Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, and then Derek Barnett. And obviously you can grab another piece like Danielle Hunter, Yannick, like I've said before. Your defensive line is just going to be great as a depth piece for these guys coming in. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what Sean Desai does with these guys. But that is available as of right now via trade if you want to give up a draft pick. I'd rather just go out and get Yannick if he has that much interest. Yannick has said that not much teams have had interest unless he's just lying, and maybe there are a lot of teams calling his agent, for his services or whatever. But Danielle Hunter is available out there. I think he's been trying to get big money the past, or at least get a long-term contract the past couple seasons, off seasons, and finally really wants to get something done, and it looks like he will be dealt. When, I don't know, but kind of considered what they want draft compensation wise for him. So it should be very interesting. So I wouldn't mind it at all. Second in news as of right now, when it comes to the DeAndre Hopkins situation, and trust me, I've been just updating you guys on it because at the end of the day, I don't think the Eagles need him. I think the Eagles like Quez. I think they like Zacchaeus. I think they like some of the undrafted guys they brought in. So I feel like there will be somewhat of a competition at, some time, obviously training camp, stuff like that. But DeAndre Hopkins is visiting teams now. When these free agents, these pretty good free agents are out there, they're either going to visit teams or they're just going to sign with a team or just sit there and wait, have a video call, something like that, and maybe sign with a team. DeAndre Hopkins is now, it looks like he's going to be visiting teams. So this will make more sense going down the line. The Tennessee Titans that are in desperate need of wide receiver help and now is visiting them. So I don't know any other teams that he's visiting on the list right now. I think the Titans Titans really the only team. I haven't heard any news about other teams. So I think this is going to be the difference maker. If we see DeAndre Hopkins visit the Eagles, then yeah, there is a lot of interest. But, the Eagles could have had interest before, but because of his demands, maybe they called his agent to see what he wanted number-wise. And Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero did mention that, he will get money. He will get his money. And I don't know what team is going to give him the number that he wants. Like I've said this a million times, because you are already into June already, and you're not in the prime of free agency in March. You're past the draft, and you're well into June now. And it's like, what, teams have spent cap. There's teams that have cap left, but the number that he wants is probably the number he's not going to get unless something happens and a team has to shake up some, restructures or something to free up more cash flow, I guess, for DeAndre Hopkins. But if he thinks that, the Tennessee Titans are the team that's going to really make noise, I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't. At this point, they don't even have a quarterback. Will Levis has really not had a great offseason, and, I think a lot of people were way too high on him. And I don't know. I just, because what these wide receivers say in these podcasts are totally different than what they really want. Oh, these are 5 quarterbacks I want to play for. And then they just visit a totally different team. You know what I mean? Like something, It's just like, it's kind of weird at some points. It's just kind of weird. It's not, because we know realistically what money he's going to get, and it's not going to be the number he wants. So that's the updated DeAndre Hopkins stuff right now. I'm going to keep updating it until it's like really over with, because, see the Eagles are bringing him in for like a, as a visit, then it's more realistic in my eyes. Not if I hear third-party news on, oh, he had a video call with the Eagles, and like it's just out of nowhere, and it probably isn't anything. So I'm not going to make a huge deal about that. So looks like DeAndre Hopkins will be visiting teams. I mean, who knows? He could be signed with the Titans real soon. I mean, of all the teams you're going to sign with the Titans, I don't know. But good luck. That's all I got to say. So other than that, that's pretty much it. We've talked about Danielle Hunter, defensive end market. There is still names out there. You still got Jadeveon Clowney out there. You still got Frank Clark out there. Floyd's off the market now, going to the Bills. And, Yannick Ngakoue is still out there. I think Yannick Ngakoue could be the top target for the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like it's pretty realistic. But like I said, the longer that these guys are not signed or traded, the better it's going to look for the Eagles to acquire them. You know what I mean? At least one guy. It's all I'm really looking for as for another move with 4 open roster spots, which makes a lot of sense that they could be looking to upgrade. The Eagles have over $13 million in cap space. It's not bad at all. They can afford a guy for a 1-year deal or a 2, whatever the case, a 2-year deal with the second year is void, where the Eagles can make a decision if they don't want to carry a player over 1 year, whatever the case may be with that. So let me know what you guys think about the Danielle Hunter news. You think, the Eagles are one of the teams that have been calling, and there has been a lot of teams calling. So just because the Eagles call and have interest, it doesn't mean they will have the best offer than other teams. That's what we got to understand. And then, I think we're pretty far into what we're doing now, and like I said, can't wait for the competition. All that great stuff. And we talked a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins going to the Titans, so it looks like he's going to be visiting teams. If the Titans are the only team, obviously, and he might sign there. If not, it could be available for other teams that maybe have interest in him. So we'll see. I'd rather not trade for a defensive end. I'd rather sign one free agency wise. You don't have to deal with a team. You don't have to give up draft picks. We need as many draft picks as possible, since the Eagles will have probably $11 to $12 million in cap space. And then after signing your quarterback, these cap hits between this year and next year for Jalen Hurts is only like $19.5 million, which is like, it's nothing. It's a joke. It's laughable at this point. So that's all I really want to talk about today. I hope you guys had a fantastic day. Remember, guys, if you guys have it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Definitely like the video as well. We have more updates to the Philadelphia Eagles as we get closer to training camp and some stuff going on, and some channel updates as well later on. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, SHAKESQUAD up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.